Lebanese millionaire and ex-politician Hatem Akouche discovered he had an incurable liver disease at the age of 59 years old in 2012. Now, shortly after, he did a test with one of his sons to figure out if his son was a compatible fit. The son was not a compatible fit. After receiving the devastating news, Hatem Akouche got really desperate because he was running out of time and didn't know where he would get a perfectly fine liver from to stay alive. So Hatem Akouche and his four sons came up with a plan that they would approach really poor people, especially poor immigrants. They would just give them a sum of money to purchase their liver. Now, before you can go through with a liver transplant, you have to test whether or not the liver is compatible or whether or not a person is safe enough to go through with it. Hatem Akouche was able to find a lot of people. However, he received a lot of incompatible results and he was getting frustrated. His frustrations wouldn't last for long because they will soon get a compatible result. First good news and compatible result will come from a 28-year-old undocumented Algerian woman. Now, her liver would test positive and compatible with Hatem Akouche's liver. However, the hospital will give Hatem a call a couple of days later and tell him that they couldn't go through with the transplant because she was pregnant. At this point, Hatem was super devastated, angry, upset. Now, because he was angry and upset, he would refuse to pay the undocumented Algerian woman because the transplant couldn't go through. Now, being really upset that she wasn't getting paid, she decided to vent to her NGO caseworker and let her know that these men contacted her to buy her liver. Now, the NGO worker will soon contact the police, and the Valencia police began to investigate Hatem. While the Valencia police were investigating Hatem for a possible organ harvesting crime, he didn't give up. He was able to soon find a Romanian guy who was homeless and really desperate for money and get him to agree to come and get tested. Now, when the Romanian guy got tested, his results came back as positive and he was a compatible fit for Hatem, and he will soon be scheduled for a transplant. Now, on the day of the transplant, the hospital will ask several questions like where do you live, etc., etc. Now, after a brief questionnaire, the hospital realized that the Romanian fellow was homeless and they became really suspicious. They began to dig further and discovered that a family member of Hatem had brought the Romanian man for testing as well as 7 other people. At this point, the hospital was really suspicious and began to push Hatem and his family to question him even more. They asked them why the same relative brought 7 other people here to get tested for your kidney transplant. The hospital quickly concluded that Hatem and his family were trying to purchase livers from vulnerable people, and they deemed it as an exploitative practice and wouldn't go through with the kidney transplant. The hospital contacted and alerted Valencia police, and that was enough to secure an arrest of Hatem Akouche and his sons. Now, after the arrest in 2013, it wouldn't be until 2019 that he will go to trial. However, between 2013 and 2019, one of Hakem's sons will go ahead and do a second compatible testing for a liver transplant, and that test will come back positive. So Hatem was able to get his liver transplant. So at this point, bro, like Hatem about to go to jail for no reason, because he didn't even need to go through this way, right, to try to buy livers from poor people and exploit them. Now, Hatem will go to trial in 2019. Hatem knew he was guilty as guilty can be, so he was ecstatic, man, and took that year in prison and thought that was all that he would get out and return back to his life. Well, after the year in prison, the Supreme Court of Valencia, of Spain, I should say, they annulled the sentence because they believed that Hatem got preferential treatment for being a millionaire and an ex-politician, and they believed the sentence was not enough. Hatem was ordered back for a retrial. Now, this time around, the Supreme Court suggested the court add on another charge, and what that charge was defrauding the National Transplant Organization, which is an independent agency within the Spanish Ministry of Health, as an injured party. Now, what that does is brings on an additional charges to where, Hatem will go to trial and actually, get a stiffer punishment. Now, apparently the Spanish government said, listen up, bro, we're the only ones who can harvest these organs. We're the only ones who can receive these organs. We're the only ones who can buy these organs. No matter how much money you have, you cannot purchase it. So right now, Hatem is currently in court battling a stiffer sentence. So now the question goes, man, should people be able to purchase organs? If somebody has the money, should they be able to purchase organs? I guess that's where the issue of capitalism or morality comes in. Because technically, as a capitalistic society, by principle, we agree if somebody has something they want to sell and somebody has money they want to buy it with, they should be able to barter. But then the question goes, man, that's a real exploitative practice because Bro, you're gonna have a lot of poor people out here just selling eyeballs, tongues, livers, and kidneys, right, for $100. You feel me? Because that's how desperate people are. So yeah, let me know in the comment section, man. What do you guys think, man? Should people be able to sell their organs for money, or should that be outlawed?